Hello, everyone, and welcome to Reimagine Education. We're honored to have you join us, and I would like to start by saying a big thank you to the thousands of educators joining us today from more than 40 countries. The passion, the persistence, and ingenuity that you all demonstrate every day, and especially these past few years, are a real inspiration to us all. Our mission is to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more, a mission that extends to students, educators, community members, and parents. By building products, features, and experiences that foster productivity and creativity, our ambition is to open doors to students everywhere. From live captions in Windows 11 to reading coach in Microsoft Teams to streamlined device deployment with Intune, we are building the technology and co-creating with educators to help make learning inclusive, accessible, and secure by design. This work could not be more timely. The past several years have both highlighted and amplified the need for powerful and effective educational platforms. So today we are excited to share how we are extending our learning tools within Microsoft 365 and introducing an important new category called Learning Accelerators to help students advance foundational skills like reading, writing, and math. And our team is excited to share more with you today. And once again, thank you. Building communities around learning is more important than ever. When passion, technology, and human ingenuity come together, we can reimagine the future of education. Thank you all so very much.
Thank you, Satya, and welcome everyone to Reimagine Education. We're so excited to have you. As a former educator, I understand the disruption that schools continue to face. Over the past year, I've had the opportunity to meet with educators and students from around the world, and I've heard inspiring stories of how schools are leveraging technology to support their students and teachers. But we know this work is not done, and Microsoft will continue to be a partner with you on this journey. In the past few years, schools have invested billions of dollars in educational technology to provide learning continuity for their students. We believe there are many opportunities to get more from those investments. So today we're going to share updates on new learning tools in Microsoft products that will help students catch up, keep up, and get ahead in their learning. We've invited product makers and executives at Microsoft to demonstrate and discuss our work. And we will visit classrooms around the world and hear how educators are already using these new tools to improve education. Today, I am thrilled to announce that we are extending our learning tools within Microsoft 365 by adding an important new category called Learning Accelerators. Learning Accelerators help students advance foundational skills like reading, writing, and math, as well as develop future-ready skills like information literacy and communication to better prepare them for success in college, career, and life. Our first example of a learning accelerator is Reading Progress and Coach. And I'm pleased to tell you that Reading Coach is now available in Immersive Reader across all our online products, making our literacy tools available to more schools and families around the world and giving students better agency over their own learning. In response to many educators' requests, we've added comprehension questions to Reading Progress and Coach, enabling teachers to check for both fluency and understanding. We know that students need help in both literacy and numeracy. That's why I'm so happy to announce that we will soon be launching a new learning accelerator, Math Progress and Coach. These tools will be available in Microsoft Teams for Education, enabling students to practice solving equations and receive feedback on mathematical concepts. Because information literacy is a critical part of student learning, we're happy to introduce Search Coach, which empowers students to become more informed consumers and producers of digital content. And to support students in developing, refining, and delivering meaningful presentation skills, we're also announcing the availability of Speaker Progress and Coach. We believe that learning accelerators can unlock the full potential of every student, giving them opportunities to learn, practice, and receive instant feedback in an inclusive and trusted environment. But don't just listen to me. Let's check in with educators to see how one of our most popular learning accelerators, Reading Progress, is having a positive impact in the classroom.
When Reading Progress becomes that one-on-one coach for that student. Now students, they can own their learning. They can own their reading progress. They can track it to see how they're doing. And with the built-in AI, it identifies words that students may struggle with and provides additional support. So this frees up the teacher to work with other students. So this has been a win-win for all of us in making sure that we are on track with increasing our fluency and literacy for our students.
Within a few weeks, I had rolled it out with my students, and I knew I was gonna see some benefits, but it just blew me away. Just absolutely blew me away.
The technology is like there are 20 extra teachers in one classroom, and it can all be managed with a few clicks, and it can all be managed and given feedback also with a few clicks. So it's very easy to use, it's rewarding, and like we see every day in our classes, it works.
So it's really created this place where students can improve their reading, but they're the ones setting those goals. They really have agency here, and the locus of control centers on the student and their reflective practices rather than on me determining what my students need.
What's amazing about reading progress when it comes to data is that data is immediate. A student can hand in and turn in one of their reads, and I can immediately sit down with them and we can look at that read, look at the words they missed, their repetitions, their admissions, their insertions.
The first time one of the kids asked, can I watch my video playback? And just how in awe they were, I think just watching themselves read. I could just see kind of like a light bulb go off in their head, just being like, I didn't even realize I was doing that. They could see all their hard work coming to life.
When we can see what it is they're struggling with, our teachers can intervene and provide that additional support one-on-one or in small groups. When students get what they need when they need it, I believe that they can progress faster, and that's what we want in the end.
When students start to see success in reading, they start to see success in so many other areas, and it's really building this ability for leadership in our classroom, because they're taking ownership of what they're doing.
Learning to read, it's not a natural thing. It's building steps, it's stepping stones, and every little success is going to feed into this giant success. Being able to have a tool like this to say, this is where they were even 2 weeks ago versus where they are this week, and they can visually be seen, while it's a small step, they are going in the right direction.
The accessibility of those tools in Dutch, it's wonderful, it's amazing, and it makes a huge difference for a lot of students from all over the world that are able to access these solutions to develop their own skills and to become people who have a better understanding of the world we are all living in.
Just think how powerful this is when you have the information from the dashboard that you can share with parents on how their student is actually progressing, their reading skills, their fluency skills, how they're progressing. And so now as a parent, you and the teacher are partners in helping support this scholar in how their reading skills are increasing and growing and how they're developing. So it's really powerful for all involved.
I love seeing how reading progress can support reading capabilities in meaningful ways. And it's fun to see the impact of technology in the classroom and the traction it's gained in just a year. I have one final announcement to make. I'm excited that we're making Education Insights Premium available across the Microsoft 365 suite, including in our no-cost Office products. This makes the data and insights from our learning accelerators available across school systems, so administrators and school leaders can use data to inform their decisions and more effectively support their teachers and learners. Collaborating with educators is a top priority at Microsoft. Their ideas inform our product making, and no one knows this relationship better than Mike Thulson, our Principal Group Product Manager. Welcome, Mike.
Thanks, Paige. Happy to be here.
Last year at our Reimagine Education event, we introduced Reading Progress and Coach. Can you tell us a little bit about the new updates to these tools?
Sure. With Reading Coach now embedded in Immersive Reader as part of our Office 365 online apps, students can use their own content, whether at school or home. They can launch Reading Coach directly from Immersive Reader. They read out loud and Reading Coach will listen. And when they're finished, students get a learner reading report showing accuracy, correct words per minute, and some practice words to improve their fluency. When the student launches the practice words, Reading Coach pops up and allows independent practice of the top words they mispronounced.
Mike, that's a really big deal.
It is. And for reading progress, we also have a community-inspired update to share. The top request we've heard for reading progress is to let teachers add comprehension questions for the passage. Here's an example of how that will look.
I can't wait to see this update in classrooms later this year. We know that students need support for both literacy and numeracy, which is why later this year we'll be adding Math Progress and Math Coach to our learning accelerators. Can you show us?
Happy to. The experience is similar to Reading Progress and Coach. Educators can create math progress assignments and distribute those to the class. With just a few clicks, students can write or type an equation and get detailed help from the math coach, which shows them the correct mathematical processes. Students can generate similar questions and practice these concepts. And just like with Reading Progress, students can turn in their math assignments. And this includes typed math or photos of written work, and educators can easily review both types of work while also getting insights into how the students are progressing. And to start out, we'll be focused on 4th to 9th grade math skills.
Mike, the past several years have shown the importance of building student information literacy as a critical skill when working online. This brings us to our new tool. Can you show us Search Coach?
Sure thing, Paige. Search Coach is a simple, powerful, no-cost app in Teams that helps learners form effective queries and identify reliable resources when searching the internet. Think of it as a search engine with training wheels, where students build their search, information, and media literacy skills all in a safe environment. While most search education focuses on analyzing results for reliability, the unique power of Search Coach is demonstrating how to form more effective search queries. To get the correct answer, you first have to ask the correct question, right? Here I am in Search Coach, and you can see these 4 buttons for Teaching UI. If I click on one, I can learn more about things like domains, file types, date range, and operators. We also have a search tip, and this rotates every day to give students different tips about how to search better. Let's start out with something simple. Are dogs better than cats? Hit go. Now, what many students don't know is that the way you type a query can actually bias it. Just by saying, are dogs better than cats, I get all these results that tell me why dogs are better than cats. There's a search tip here that explains why using language such as better than can result in opinions that sound like facts. Let's try, what do astronauts eat in space? I'm going to use the domains button here, and I want to filter on US domains and .gov, so this is just going to give me the results with this site:filter right here. I'll click go. Now all the results are filtered just by .gov. The educator also gets class insights, so seeing things like who opened only the first result, the number of search attempts, all sorts of filter information, and even a word cloud of searches happening in the class. Search Coach also has customizable fact check buttons, class settings, and lots more. Starting today, Search Coach is available to all educators as a Microsoft Teams app. In a couple of months, we'll also be shipping Search Progress, which allows educators to make specific Teams assignments that incorporate Search Coach, quality queries, and sources. Search Progress lets the teacher make thinking visible by showing exactly how students are constructing queries, gathering sources, and why they're choosing these sources. And one bonus announcement, we're looking to bring Search Coach to the Microsoft Edge browser in late 2023.
This is going to be incredible for families around the world. Mike, as someone who's had to overcome my own fears about public speaking, I'm really looking forward to seeing our final learning accelerator. Can you show us Speaker Progress and Coach?
With Speaker Progress and Teams, we're bringing together assignments with the existing Speaker Coach capabilities. This helps to develop speaking skills, improve confidence, and minimize anxiety students might face when giving a presentation. Educators can customize the Speaker Progress assignments to focus on communication skills, including speaking and body language. Let's see how this works. Here I am in Teams assignments, and I'm going to choose Speaker Progress. I have some options: presentation style, speech, or freestyle. I chose presentation. Now, as a teacher, I can choose the report I want to grade on: simplified, full, or custom. And I can choose the AI that I want to detect. So things like pace, filler words, pitch, even body language, inclusiveness, repetitiveness, this is all set now. As the student, we're going to flip forward. Here's the assignment. I open it up, and there's a video of a student. He's going to add his PowerPoint presentation. and he clicks the video button to start recording. Gets a countdown, and now he's presenting. Speaker Coach pops up and says, "You're going a little too fast," giving him some coaching. And we'll speed ahead, and now we're going to finish up. What the student gets next is a report just like the teacher set up. Pace, pitch, filler words, body language, some great information. You even get suggestions so we can watch and see exactly where those different things were happening. That's where he said, And just like with reading progress, the educator can review the speaker progress assignment and get automatic insights on progress over time.
Thanks, Mike. It's always amazing to watch your demos, but it's even more incredible to see them in the hands of educators and students. Now let's visit some schools to see how some of the early adopters and testers of Speaker Coach, Search Coach, and Reflect are getting the most out of these tools.
Speaker Coach is one of those tools that kind of was a light bulb tool for a lot of students that I've worked with. Being able to have the ability to practice and get real-time feedback is where Speaker Coach really comes in and helps our students and even helps us as adults. We really have shown the students this program so that it can help them become better presenters because it's applicable to any classroom, whether you're in biology or 8th grade math, and you have to present your thoughts and ideas.
When I learned about Speaker Coach, I used it for everything. Every time I present a workshop, I will run through my slides using Speaker Coach so that I can see how's my timing. It's giving the students the confidence to be able to present in front of others and share their voice. But we can't teach them how to slow down, and we can't teach them how to not use like or other things like that. This platform allows for that.
A lot of times when our students search for things, they actually don't know what they're searching for. So I think Search Coach simplifies those ideas for them. That's what I've seen with students in classes, is I've had a look at the way they look for things. I think that's the goal of Search Coach, to give them the ability to make that search a little bit easier.
The first advantage is embedded within Teams. They appreciate that they can put site:UK to search for a specific domain. And it's got a reliability function. Everything is checked by NewsGuard, so we can look beneath the search and we get information about reliability, how fresh the site is, and what domain that site's come from.
Search Coach really does surface the tools and the information that our students need to make well-educated decisions around the validity of the results that they're being presented with. Things like the domain, whether or not the NewsGuard score is quite high, really points towards how valid that data is.
One of the focuses we've been having at All Hallows in the last 2 to 3 years is a greater focus on student well-being, student emotional learning. The Reflect app allows, at this stage, I believe, the students the opportunity to be self-aware of how they're currently feeling in that learning space. For the students, it's simply a question of pick your emoji and qualify it with a word or a statement. I can look at a class snapshot and see how my class is feeling that day, look at the words, and I can also look at individual students. And it gives me that opportunity, that awareness of, wow, I may need to touch base with Reese today and see, I saw you notice that you're a bit overwhelmed at the moment, Reese. How can we have a chat about that? Or strategies do we have that I can engage about that? They actually saw that if they were honest and open about their self-reflection, it did have an impact on what we would do that day within that teaching and learning space. I can know individual students, and that allows me the power and the privilege to pivot my lesson in response to what I'm seeing. And if they're in a different space to where I need them to be, then I respond accordingly. And that helps and supports what I am on about, and that is to try and be the best responsive teacher and incorporating this well-being into our learning teaching environment.
It's great to see how learning accelerators in Microsoft 365 can support innovative educators around the world. While Microsoft 365 works across all platforms, the experience is best on a Windows device. That's why I'm delighted to welcome Deirdre Quanstrom, Vice President of Education Experiences, to talk to us about the latest in developments in Windows.
Thanks, Paige. It's great to be here to speak with you and our community.
It's so fabulous to have you. You know, Windows devices are a critical foundation for blended learning. I thought we'd start by seeing some of the amazing work schools have been doing in the past year. Let's take a look.
It's been 10 years since Ministry of Education and Science is providing laptops to the students. It was a challenge to bring and maintain these devices to our specialists. We spent a lot of time to manually support these devices all over Georgia. Microsoft 365 gave us an opportunity to manage and automate all these processes.
Right now we have over 135,000 computers deployed in our Intune. And it allows us to distribute software, distribute updates securely and remotely. System has improved dramatically, and everything is ready in just under 5 minutes, let's say.
I believe the students study best when their devices are safe, secured, and working well. Microsoft 365 gave opportunity on the school and education level to bring technologies in the school, and gave opportunity to create an ecosystem which provide school first the security, and second remotely control all the devices in more than 2,085 schools.
Ceibal started as a project in Uruguay to bridge the digital divide.
Every student, no matter where he or she lives, received the laptop or tablet, and it's very rewarding to see children maybe from rural schools or from very low-income places building systems and projects using technology and competing in other countries representing Uruguay.
Microsoft Windows was the option in 98% of the cases. So we decided that was the software that was most suitable for our devices and for our program. Right now, we are in 100% of the Uruguayan public schools.
We have two big benefits using Windows. The first one is that we have central management tool that's Intune. And it's very useful for us because we have to manage hundreds of thousands of devices that are deployed all over the country.
We always say that for us to have a sustainable digital transformation model in Latin America, what we need are a number of factors. Investment in infrastructure, a future vision, a talented team, and strong partners.
In Las Cruces, our school district has about 24,000 students, and we are on 40 campuses. Socioeconomic struggles, language barriers, those are real challenges that we face every single day. We needed to standardize a device, and we needed to make sure it was a device that was going to work for us K-12. Putting 20,000 devices out in the district, we need to make sure that they are accessible to people, and hands down, the Microsoft tools are what does that for us.
Students who sometimes have specific learning needs, having everything in one screen where they could type, they could talk, they could watch, it was captioned, made it easier for my students to focus on the learning and not focus on the platform or on what button needed to be clicked.
These tools become part of education. Kids pick up those tools and use them as they need them. That happens organically in the classroom now in a way I've never seen before. Success for us and for me in that work is making sure the kids in our community are better off than we were 3 years ago. And I believe that with my whole heart, and that's the work that's really important to me. I care about it. I'm gonna cry, I think, but I do.
It's so great to see our products in action.
Thanks, Paige. One of the best parts of my job is definitely seeing how schools use our technology.
I know your team engages with educators to get input. Tell us about what you've recently announced in Windows 11 and how that can benefit learning.
Our journey with Windows 11 has been truly energizing. There's so much that we're excited about with the recent Windows 11 update. New capabilities that will benefit learning across productivity, creativity, security, and accessibility.
Well, now that sounds interesting. Tell me more about specific features that you think are going to have the biggest impact on educators and students.
Well, the first one is we know that students want to compare and reference content across multiple windows. And with snap layouts on Windows 11, we've made it easy to set up their workspace for precise learning needs, including the ability to see multiple browser tabs in Edge. We've also brought tabs in File Explorer for faster searches across several file locations simultaneously.
I'm personally excited about that last feature, and I can see how it will save time for educators and learners. Another thing that teachers worry about is that technology can be distracting, and your team has recently released some tools to help with that.
Sure, distractions are a challenge for all of us, right? And that's why we have focus sessions and do not disturb to help quiet those distractions so learners can focus on a task, and they can even get reminders for breaks to support their well-being.
Student well-being is definitely critical. You know, one of the most limited resources in schools is time. Is there anything that you've done to give educators back time?
There is. I'm glad to announce our latest innovation built just for education, Simple Sign-In. Students can sign in quickly and easily to their devices with third-party identity providers like Clever and Google. This helps them get right to learning without having to remember another username and password.
That will save time and remove a lot of hassles. When's that going to be available to schools?
Later this month for Windows 11 Pro Education.
Deirdre, one of the things that I'm most impressed by is how your team focuses on inclusivity and accessibility at the forefront of your design. What's new in Windows 11?
We're committed to building products that empower each of us, and we're proud that Windows 11 is the most accessible and inclusively designed version of Windows yet. Districts are choosing Microsoft and Windows because of our accessibility tools. Experiences like focus sessions, which I mentioned earlier, voice access, immersive reader, and system-wide live captions are all designed for seamless inclusion. I see firsthand in my house how my daughter benefits from immersive reader with her schoolwork and while playing Minecraft with her friends.
So live captions sounds like it could be really beneficial. Can you tell me more about that?
Sure. Live captions can transcribe any audio content on a Windows 11 device, from the web, Teams, any app, even in-person conversations, to help those who learn better by reading, are hard of hearing, or learning a new language. They're even a proven way to help improve comprehension, attention, and recall. Now, we'll continue to innovate and create new features that empower all to succeed, regardless of their needs or abilities.
That's terrific, Deirdre. I love that students with diverse learning styles can customize their experience to meet their own needs.
These new levels of customization and the way that we're building Windows is all about putting people at the center. At the end of the day, we want technology to enable, enhance, and extend so that people can focus on what they're doing. In this case, teaching, learning, and creating.
Totally makes sense. Another thing I want to spend some time on today is security. Many school systems have been hacked this year, and it's top of mind for a lot of school leaders and for IT. I know it's a priority for your engineers as well. Can you share improvements that have been made in this space?
Sure. Security is foundational with how we build products at Microsoft. We're committed to security and trust built in at every layer so that schools can focus on what matters. We've added better AI-powered security to block malicious software, and we've also added capabilities to Windows 11 PCs for presence sensing.
Tell me a little more about that.
Well, when a teacher walks away from their device, the device screen automatically turns off and then wakes up when they're back, keeping the PC more secure while saving battery power and helping them quickly return to what they were doing. Overall, with Windows 11, we've raised the bar for security even further with new hardware security requirements built in that our customers can trust will keep them protected from the chip to the cloud.
That's incredible progress on Windows, and I'm really impressed with what your team is doing here. It's so important. Deirdre, thanks so much for being here and sharing with us today.
Thank you, Paige, for having me here today, and thanks for the incredible partnership with your team. I also want to take a moment and thank all of you, the educators out there. Your feedback makes our products better.
Now I'm going to go over to Brad Smith's office to talk about getting students the skills and tools they need to help them get prepared for the workforce. Brad, thanks so much for joining us today.
Great to be here with you, Paige.
I've had an amazing day sharing news about our new learning accelerators and the latest features in our Windows platform. And I'm so energized about how schools around the world can leverage these new offerings to help students prepare for the future. What role do you see Microsoft taking in helping prepare students for the future?
Well, I think these accelerators really enable us to be even more impactful in doing what we're striving to do, namely equip faculty, teachers, and reach students with better ways to learn. And we do this at a scale, frankly, that few others do in the world. Every year, we're taking these kinds of tools and our other products, and through grants and discounts, we're reaching more than 200 million students,
teachers, administrators, and the like. And it just underscores what we're trying to help the educational community accomplish. That connects as well with what we're trying to do in broadband, because, of course, the pandemic taught us all that broadband connectivity matters deeply, not only for people trying to reach a school, but just trying to learn at home. And so through our Airband initiative, we're now focused on bringing broadband connectivity to more than 250 million people, 250 million people, between now and 2025. That's sort of what we're trying to do, but ultimately, does it matter? We hope so, because it's all about helping great teachers use technology as the vehicle to glean more insights and be even more impactful and effective in what they do. That's our ultimate litmus test, to use technology that makes schools, educators, education as a whole even better.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. So as we think about our company's mission to empower everyone to achieve more, it's not just about Microsoft's work, but how we can activate our entire ecosystem to support schools. And I know that you work with government leaders around the world all the time. What are some of your topics for discussion when collaborating with policymakers and nonprofits and business leaders about how to improve the world of education?
Well, the interesting thing right now is that people very readily understand why broadband connectivity is so important. The pandemic taught us all that. People understand why digital technology can be such a force multiplier in schools. But people are also concerned. They're, I think, fundamentally concerned about how we better protect children, how we protect kids online, how we protect them from threats to their digital safety, how we really think hard about the impact of technology on the mental health of people, including kids. So I look at this year, 2023, as a year where we need to keep focusing on what is making the world better. But frankly, we also need to couple that even more with a heightened awareness and a renewed effort to address the problems that also concern people, including people in government.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, data privacy, good IT security, and student mental well-being is really top of mind for a lot of my educator friends, and something that I'm really proud of how much Microsoft has invested in those spaces to make things safer and better in learning environments. So I appreciate all your leadership on that. Do you have any final words or thoughts you'd like to share with our education community? It includes educators and school leaders from around the world.
Well, look, what I would say, I say this all the time, all around the world. I myself am an incredible beneficiary of a wonderful public school education. So much of what I've been able to accomplish in life is because of some wonderful teachers. They opened my eyes to the world. They taught me how to think about the world. I just want to say thank you, because I think there are very few people who do as much good for the world as teachers who do good for students. Thank you for what you do every single day.
Thanks for joining us today, Brad.
Great to be here with you.
We're excited that Microsoft can be the backbone for helping students prepare for their next step in life. I need to head back to the studio, so while I'm heading there, have a look at some great examples of how our Microsoft 365 tools help students take a step forward by developing critical thinking skills, leadership, and supporting more proficiency in language learning.
We want to make sure that all of our students leave schools as confident and capable readers, that they can engage with school and with the world beyond school. It's a necessity for us as a system, and it will help us in terms of a city and a global community.
When we invest in dyslexic learners in schools, it's not just about remediating challenges, it's also preparing our future workforce to solve the problems of tomorrow. And we know that dyslexic learners especially are well equipped to tackle those kinds of uncertainties and big thinking and big problems that we'll face as time goes on.
As a teacher, I want them to be able to leave school and feel confident in what they're doing and feel confident in their abilities and be able to showcase those abilities to other people. By providing some of these tools, I'm just giving them another medium. I'm giving them a chance to communicate in a way that they otherwise wouldn't be able to.
Filipinos are all over the globe. And it's that English language proficiency give them the advantage to be employed globally. Microsoft Reading Progress can help develop their reading proficiency for them to be able to compete for jobs globally and locally.
Our learners are second language learners in English. So with the help of Reading Progress tool, they were able to explore how to speak the language well. When we speak of the world of employment nowadays, it is a must for a student, for an applicant rather, to speak well. And actually that is one of the benefits we were able to get from this reading tool. And with that, our students are very much thankful.
As they become fluent in the English language and in reading, and eventually they will be able to develop the higher level like discourse, vocabularies, pronunciation. It will pave the way for them to be employed.
The gaming industry is the fastest growing and largest digital media economy in the world, outgrowing and outpacing the movie, music, and television industries combined. Along with curriculum and social and emotional learning, esports offers us a wide open door to the development of career-ready skills and the curation of career pathways for our students all over the world. Bringing a popular video game to market can take over 400 unique and separate roles, from coders and UX designers to artists and musicians to legal and HR. This opens our students up to millions of jobs across the world the day they exit education. Gaming and esports offers us, as educators, a truly awesome opportunity to help our students succeed in almost any career choice that they make.
During the pandemic, DreamSpace started working quite closely with our Irish state broadcaster for TV and radio. They asked us to start exploring this possibility of developing a DreamSpace TV resource that teachers could play in their classrooms, but also then that we could shape it in some sort of competition framework. I think Ireland's Future is Mine has kind of opened the door to the role that games-based learning can play when it's utilised correctly and, you know, for the right reasons and at the right time. It can be a complete game changer. What we're trying to do is not only look at the skills that are required of our workforce at the moment, but we're also trying to look somewhat down the line. We do know there will be big decisions. We do know there will be big challenges. And so having that focus on empathy, on ethics, on decision making, and trying to basically empower young people that they feel that, okay, I could have a voice at the table, that's really, really important.
I'm humbled to see how tools like Immersive Reader, Reading Coach, and approaches like game-based learning can have an impact in student lives. I hope you've gained some valuable information today, and I want to thank you for joining us. As Satya said, Microsoft's mission is to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. The announcements today are part of our company's commitment to be a partner with you in that mission. I believe that Microsoft's learning accelerators have so much potential to help all students and teachers, and I hope you will use them in your schools. For more information about learning accelerators, go to our website. Thanks again for joining us today. We'll see you soon.